What's up traders, welcome to Failure to Displace. In this video we're going to go through some live price action and commentary on a trade that I've just taken. It did eventually grab a 2-hour profit, however I closed 50% of the trade off and then got stopped out break even before news hit. We'll go into the live analysis now and hopefully we can all learn something from this one. So I'm looking at taking this short. We've come into the 9:30 candle. We've taken a New York high from yesterday. A very aggressive move up to sweep that liquidity. Bit of consolidation going on. We've closed through this bullish fair value gap to create an inversion fair value gap. Left the bearish fair value gap and a breaker above us. It's the start of the new half-hour candle right now. So what I would like is to pop into this bearish fair value gap and then come down. I'm going to take 50% off at 1-to-1 if we get entered. Right, so we are in the trade based on this. So 50% is going to come off at 1-to-1 if we will get the rejection. And then take profit 2 is going to be the optimal trade entry, this area, for a really nice 7R. If we can just get a rejection down here now. It's tricky this morning. We've got lots of yellow folder news that's been dropping. Spanish, Italian, French and German final services PMI. Got this Lagarde woman speaking. Pound's just had its PMI. So there's been loads of orange folder news. So I didn't get an entry on the low because of the news. It just ran away without a pullback. But now because we've taken liquidity higher, so we've filled that fair value gap. Need to see a bit of a rejection now. So we created equal lows here, we just pinned through them, which is a bit unfortunate. Created equal highs, which we pinned through. Because this inversion fair value gap's been closed, I would at least expect this to get ran. So that's why I was going to take a take profit 1 at this level here, which is our just over 1-to-1. So I'd really want to see this level get taken. At least we're risk free. Let's see. We're already a couple of minutes in, so I was hoping to see more volume at the start of this 15-minute candle. There's a lot of volume imbalances here on this bullish run up. I'll take the fib off. So I was just minding optimal trade entry for this area was in this fair value gap as well, so I was using that as an additional confluence. So as I mentioned, 1-to-1. The first take profit is only here. So we're nearly at the 1-to-1 now. So I'll be taking 50% off at 1-to-1 to make myself risk free. And I'm doing that as an aggressive take profit because again we do have untapped session liquidity above us. Right, so that's take profit 1 hit. So we're now risk free on this trade. I'll probably close where would be logical. Suppose this swing low here, 2.5 would be a good idea to Take another take profit. So this is the one that I was expecting at least this to get hit. However, ideally I would like this one to get taken out. So it's just above optimal trade entry. We've got a swing low into optimal trade entry into a fair value gap. So I take that as my final take profit. So we have swept that liquidity now here. Next run onto this liquidity. I'm going to take another partial at this level here. That's 2.5R, so I'm going to close another 50% of the trade when we swing. When we take this swing low, and then I'll let the rest run to this swing low for a 6.89R. So that's going to be TP2. And this is going to be close the rest in full. Again, the basis behind the trade was we swept New York high. We've had a massive pump up, so I didn't get an entry long here. It just didn't pull back into any area to give me a long. Ramped up a lot of this yellow folder news anyway, so I was very hesitant at this point. As we've taken the high, we kind of consolidated a little bit, and then the confirmations that I had to take the trade were we closed through this bullish fair value gap. So that first got me interested. We left a bearish fair value gap with this breaker as well. So this is the unicorn entry, and I wanted to see an entry at the new half-hour candle, which was here, where we just tagged in at 31. So that was kind of the confluences that I had, and that entry that I took was based also with optimal trade entry falling inside that fair value gap. I think the optimal trade entry there is just at the bottom of the fair value gap as well. And we have this order block, these last two up closed candles before we started coming down. So those two up closed candles there are our bearish order block. So lots of things building up in that area. And I say I wanted to be aggressive with my take profits because we've got this stacked news all through the morning. It's PMI, I know it's only showing as yellow folder news there, but anything PMI gets me worried. We've got non-farm this afternoon, or this morning's New York session. Red folder news, PMI in the US as well. So there's lots going on today, so it's a bit of a risky day. So I wanted to close 50% of the trade at 1-to-1 to make it risk-free. And now if we do get stopped out, it's just a break-even trade, no problem. We've not lost anything. At the moment, price is just filling in these imbalances. Don't really want it to break that high. Build this imbalance, this imbalance. This is actually like a balanced price range here because we've got all these volume imbalances inside there. So this section here where we've got bearish fair value gaps with an overlapping bullish fair value gaps is a BPR on the lower time frame. $9.42. We're going to have another 15-minute candle opening soon. The last candle of the hour. Just to clarify, because I've taken 50% of the trade off, I haven't touched the stop loss. So the stop loss is still where it was. I've closed 50% of the profit, so if we do close to 50% of the profit at 1-to-1. So if we do get stopped out, it's just a break-even trade. It's risk-free because the 50% profit I took cancels out 50% position that I've got left on, which would be the loss. This could have just been like inducement here. Take out, as I said, that was the... Because of this inversion fair value gap, I expected this swing low at the very least to get taken. This is the swing that created this leg. So when we lost this inversion fair value gap, that's what I expected at minimum to get taken. It's literally taken that and then it's reversed now. 44, so this is the new 15-minute. Well, the 15-minute starts at the end of this candle. So we'll see if we get the continuation volume coming in or if they're going to take a run for yesterday's high. Close through the BPR. There we go, this is the new 15-minute candle. So is this going to bring us volume now to come and take out some of this sell side? So you can see we've left a bullish fair value gap. We want to see this being disrespected. We want to see a closure through this bullish fair value gap, which is showing us now that bearish fair value gaps are being respected. So this has been left open. Bullish fair value gaps are being disrespected. So that's really what we want to see in this new open of the 15-minute candle. Closures through these bullish fair value gaps. And that's going to give us an indication that we're in a sell program. Build a bit more confidence. We could come down for a deeper retracement in our full targets. We respect these bullish fair value gaps, and that's not a great sign. So nice to see how this candle closes. Does it close below 50% of that fair value gap? Doesn't look like it at the minute. 4, 3. So we're looking at the 50% mark of the fair value gap, and we have closed below it. So that's a good first indication that this fair value gap may not hold. We've not respected the 50% level, so 50% is usually the threshold that tells me whether it's a strong fair value gap or not. Let's build a little bit more confidence that holding this is okay. So we'll see now. Oh. Can we flip that fair value gap into an inversion fair value gap? So we've got a closure below this fair value gap, inversion fair value gap. It converts itself into an inversion fair value gap, which is a really good sign. So there we go, we have closed through the bottom of that. So this is now an IFVG. So this is a really good sign. We've respected the bearish fair value gap at this point. We've respected the bearish fair value gap here. So it looks like bearish fair value gaps are holding. The bullish fair value gap has been closed through, only just, but we have closed through that bullish fair value gap. Now we want to see a run on this low down to our TP2. Bit slow is the price action. Still respecting 50%. Look, we've not closed above that 50% mark yet. So this line here is marking our 50%. We've come back, we've tested the bottom half of the 50% now. Not being able to close through it. Of course, there is the chance at any point here. What are we at? 430 GB PMI. So we've just had the pound PMI, Euro PPI at 5, so we've got 10 minutes until there's another red folder news, PPI. So this could just screw the whole job up. Still respecting the 50% look. I'll be honest, there's not the volume that I'd like to see. I would like to see a much more aggressive sell-off. So this is just showing me that this news could have an impact. What I may do before 10 for the news is go break even, and then at least I'm going to secure half of the position. If this news at 10 does cause any issues, I'll be at break even, so I'll have secured 50% of the trade. If we hit TP2, I'll also go break even. We're now into this lower bullish fair value gap, which we want to see again get closed through. In fact, has that closed through it? It looks like it has closed through it. Again, we've got disrespect of this bullish fair value gap, which now it's just closed at the bottom of it by again a point or so. So we've got another inversion fair value gap here potentially to act as resistance. You can see we are disrespecting these bullish fair value gaps and we're respecting the bearish fair value gaps on this run now. So it is building up confidence. I would really like to just have a quick run through this sell side before the 5 AM news drop. To close back above this fair value gap now. Kind of building trendline liquidity here, which doesn't look great. Stop loss is still above this high, so we could come and run these and still be okay. Grab some internal liquidity before we run for this external liquidity down here. So we are okay because we've not gone break even yet, but we're getting closer to the 5 AM PMI news drop on the euro. I would have liked to have cleared TP2 before then. But a strong buy up and then a buyback. Nice, extra strong buyback. That's good to see. So again, potential inversion fair value gap here. That bullish one has been closed through. So we're watching how 50% is reacted to. Looking for closures above 50% are generally not a good sign. Is it going to close above? See, we're pulling back to that 50%. You can see how it's drawn to 50% of the fair value gap. Close just above it. Getting close to this news now, look. Taking this. See if it leaves our stop loss intact. To give us a drive down. Oh, I'm going to take us out for a break even. So we've swept these two internal liquidities. So are we going to leave the external liquidity intact now or run this high for a sweep lower? 58 minutes past. We're nearly at the Euro PPI. 1 minute 35 seconds to that. See if it has any impact. We've basically engineered internal liquidity here. So this high is our external liquidity. We've swept this internal. We want it now to pump down to the external liquidity, which will be down here. So this is the low that's created. So 59, 1 minute to the news drop. So we're basically looking at, we swept that. And we've swept that. Leave the external as it is. Pull back. We've got some now. Targets down here to potentially go for. There's TP2 to get hit. We are onto the news drop now. So if we can get a little bit away from this, I'll go break even in a sec. Okay, I'm going to go break even at this point. I just want it to drive now. I've secured at least 50% profit. So I've hit TP1 securing 50%. I'm going to break even here because this news could literally go anywhere. I will close another 50% of the trade at TP2 if it does come down here. I want it to disrespect this bear bullish fair value gap. Six seconds. Don't stop there, man. Don't stop there. Oh, just below 50% of that. We could get stopped out here. Yeah, there we go. So we've got a TP1. I didn't want to risk it pulling back too hard. Let's just see how it plays out. Was it a mistake to go break even? I just wanted some volume at this point for it to just absolutely tank. Obviously, we've not had much of a impact as far as the PPI goes. Retail sales, gosh, they were bad. So it was bad news for the euro. Retail sales. PPI was what they forecast anyway. Leave this recording, we'll just watch how it plays out. I'm going to go and do a few bits now. And there you can go. We would have got stopped out anyway. So it was a good call to go break even, move the stop loss to break even at the 10 AM new candle. Obviously we didn't get the bearish volume that I was looking for to come and take TP2. Eventually we hit 2R, just sweeping that first level of sell side liquidity, but we never got to TP2. So you can see there how aggressive trade management actually was a benefit today. Earlier on in the week in one of my previous videos, I was too aggressive with my trade management and missed out on masses of profit. This time, being very conservative and aggressive with stop losses and take profits has actually paid off. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, please leave the video a thumbs up. If you got any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments section below. Let me know if this style of video is actually of use to you, or if you prefer more of the post-session breakdowns as opposed to live commentary. And if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing. We've seen some fantastic growth on the channel, and it would be absolutely awesome to have you on board. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in the next video.